I don't know exactly where to start. But first of all, I love the situation that we are talking about. The Holocaust is one of the most terrible times on earth. And here we meet smiling faces. I just love it. I just love it. There is old people who are retired. They have a lot of time. You think twice before you give them the floor, because they start and they never stop. My short, very short CV is 3 numbers. Really, very short. I have the first number here, which I got after being in Birkenau for more than half a year without identity complete. Nobody asked me what is my name. Nobody asked me anything, because I was on the I was considered with hundreds of others as raw material to the factory of death. It was a very, very difficult time. And once I got the number, I felt happy like hell. Somebody considers me to give me a number. I don't think that I have to explain this, but this is the basic facts. Birkenau. When considering Birkenau, the great dad factory, I will tell you just 3 episodes which I was part of it. I will use some words which I don't think that they need to be translated. First of all, the rampa. Rampa is the part of the complex of Birkenau, where the transports arrive. The transport I arrived in was somewhere in the midnight. And it was completely quiet. And we were in this cattle transport box, pushed together with the most terrible smells, with no food and mostly no water. That was the big problem. And it was dark. It was night. We were standing there on the rampa. And suddenly we hear a terrible hit of a hammer on the lock of the cattle wagon, which is like the big stone was falling on us. So we all waked up. It's America. Tommy. Okay. So, yeah. And once they opened the lock, the door was pushed aside, and full sunshine in our eyes. So we had fresh air, sunshine in our eyes, and we were terribly shocked. Then we heard the SS yelling at us, "Raus, raus, raus," which says in German, "out." We couldn't move, but the yelling was terrible. And we started to come out from the wagon. And then we see some people in pajamas. Pajamas. And we came together, my two sisters, my little sister, my father and I. And the orders were men here, women here, children here. Old men here with the children. I had no imagination but for this is going on. Father went to the men's line. My two older sisters went to the women's line, and I was holding my little sister's hand, Itsuka. I was holding her hand. And one of the SS said, "Go over there." So I hold her hand, and we went over there. Then comes to me one in the pajamas, and he said, "You go there with your father." No way. I will never let my little sister's hand. So I didn't. He said again, "Go there and tell that you are 18-year-old. I was 14. Then a neighbor of ours, a lady with the name of Rosenberg, which we knew very closely, says to Itsuka, "Itsuka, come with me." That means that she took the responsibility on her, in my eyes. If she says, then it's okay. I can leave her hand. I left her hand, and I joined Father. The smell was terrible. Really terrible. It didn't take too long. My father was sent to Auschwitz, which is a different camp. Not Birkenau. Birkenau was the dead institution, and Auschwitz was a working, so-called working camp. And part of the Mengeles action with the twins, etc. It took two or three days in this mass of hundreds and hundreds of kids who were put in Kinderblock. Block is a building where in 3 heights, I know that you know about that. I don't have to go into details. No? Okay. Wooden bed, 3 heights. The lowest, middle, and the top. And on every level was planned for 3 bodies. But when there were too many raw material for the dead, they put 6 on each level. And we were actually one near the other or one on the other. It took me a few days to understand where this smell comes. Very unpleasant. And where this smoke goes up for 3 or 4 chimneys. One of the night, when I was full with the information, I went out and I started to yell at the sky and yelling to God, "You send a lightning and kill me now. I don't want to wait for you anymore." This was the minute I lost all my belief in God. It didn't come back to me. He is, in my eyes, non-existent. Sometimes it would have been considerably easier for me to believe, but I can't. This is how the unknown pajama-wearing guy saved me. The second episode was at the night of Yom Kippur 44. I don't remember what was the date, September somewhere. And again, Mr. Mengele, Dr. Mengele, MD Mengele, found me to be sent to to the gas chamber. And the ratio was some 700 in a block, locked, waiting for the transport to be transported on the trucks to the gas chamber. And I was always curious. I always was curious. So I didn't join the 699. It's not an exact number. I'm just putting it that way. They are all praying to God. The most important, praying of Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is the most important day for the Jews. I went through all of them and was standing at the front of the block because I was curious to see what's going to happen. That time, I had already a job to shine the boot of the capo of these people who were on the rampa, cleaning the wagons, disinfect them, to make the railway for another trip, which was a very important job. And I did my shoe shining for him, very good. And he was a complete analphabet. He spoke a broken Polish, and he had a very good Yiddish. He was a Jew. And when he gave me a piece of paper to read 2 Polish words, and I read them, but in a Hungarian accent. I didn't know Polish. He left me out for a week. He was so happy with it that I couldn't read the exact Polish words. This was the guy. Actually, he was killed by the Jews on the day when they... The liberation, yes, liberation. Okay. 8 o'clock in the evening, all the people are praying in big voice. They came to me and they say, because of you, the heaven doesn't open for us. You have to join the praying. I said no. And I was standing and looking who is coming in. And the door opens and one of the workers of the capo comes in. I say, Yannick. He looks at me and he says, okay. he goes to the room of the block älteste, who has the right to kill anytime. He spends there half an hour. They are eating, drinking. He comes out, and I said to him, Yannick. He says, yes. And he goes. About 20 minutes later, he comes back. And he yells at me, you have something, I have something to, I don't know, you owe me something. He yelled at me, went into the block älteste, came out, and he again says, you, come with me. So the other guys were sure that I will have a worse death than they will have. Control. Mind you, she's controlling me 60 years. And he takes me out and come with me, and we went to another, or the third, or the fifth block. And he says, go up to the upper part of the bed and be quiet. So I went up to the upper part of the bed, and I found there a guy, big. I was 14, he was 20 or something like that. But we could not communicate because he spoke Greek and Ladino. And I was not aware of both of them. So we changed with Shema Israel, which was enough. And I spent the night with him like that. He saw that I am completely out of control, and he started to teach me to sing. Just to sing. And he sang an Italian song to me. I make a cut now. '56, which was 12 years later. Ma. 67. She always does that to me. Well, of course, she was right. You know. We know it. And I had to buy products to the people who worked for me in a very special transporting company we were collecting all the tanks, the Russian tanks, both on the Syrian soil and in Sinai. And we had worked endless. And every week I had to give the guys a package to eat. And it was Friday afternoon, and I come to a place and I order this and that and this and that and this and that. It was quite an order. And I take out my checkbook, and he sees the checkbook. He says, "No, I take back everything. I don't sell for checks." I tell the boss, "Go to this restaurant where we ate very, very often, and ask Moshiko to give me the cash I have to pay for this guy." Then he says, "Why you need that?" I said, "Because I came to this and this place, and he doesn't want to give me the merchandise for checks. And this is Friday, I have it now. Give him to me." Okay, talk. He says, "You know Moshiko?" I said, "Ask him." Moshiko told him only one sentence: "Give him all the shop and don't charge anything." So he was surprised. And he says, "You can take whatever you want." I said, "Here is the check." No, checks he doesn't take. Now, this is the point when it starts. I say to him, "You were in Birkenau." He looks at me unbelievingly and he says, "You see my number?" "You were teaching on the night of Kol Nidrei, Yom Kippur, a child to sing." He says, "I always sing. I still have a company, a singing company today." To cut it short, finally he recognized that maybe I was that little boy. We hugged, and we were in contact. He died half a year ago, but we are in contact with his sons in Tel Aviv. And the story, his name is Chaim Raphael. One of his sons runs the business he built, Chaim built. The other son is professor for Ladino. Ladino is the Spanish Jews language. He is the professor of Ladino in the Bar Ilan University. Extremely talented. And we are even now in connection. Now, just to give you some more details, when Yannick came back, he brought with him 5 boxes of sardines. This is what he paid for me to the Blockälteste and 20 US dollars. So I know what am I worth. Exactly. Another item. איפה אנחנו?
במקום טוב.
מקום.
בסדר, יש לך הרבה זמן.
עוד הפעם?
תשתה. תשתה.
שאלתי, כמה זמן יש לי עוד?
עוד 3/4 שעה.
אנחנו מתחילים הכל מההתחלה?
ברבע אני צודקת, כן.
Okay, never mind. Okay, before you want to throw at me eggs or yeah, tell me, I will leave. When they decided that we could hear the cannons of the Russian army still in Birkenau, started what is called today the Dead March. It was on 18 of January, exactly, 18 of January 1945, and kilometers long row of people, of half-dead people, marching in the snow with terrible shoes, with terrible בגדים, clothes, and with terrible cold. This is the third episode that I want to tell you. And for years I didn't tell it to anyone. It came a minute when I was so exhausted and I fell back and back and back and back, and people went ahead. I sat down in the snow. And I started to feel extremely good. I couldn't care less. And I heard the German who came after us and made sure that no one remains alive. He just shot everyone. And I knew that he is coming. And again, I didn't care less. That was the deepest point in my history. And I felt very good. It was like falling in a dream. Comes this SS, looks at me, and he barks at me. Du bist zu jung. You are too young. And he kicks me. Kicks me. Now, I jumped up and I started to run. That was the third time I was saved. I didn't tell this story because I didn't want to give a point, a good point, to a German soldier. But now I am giving him 12 points. Otherwise, I couldn't stand here. And I am very happy that I stand here. I built up my family. With the boss together. We split the work. She was taking care of all of our 4 children. Although she was she had to be a teacher, but she didn't teach in schools. And I was taking care of the wealth of the family, to be able to give her what to give the children to eat. We started with 0. Her parents weren't in the situation to give us, and which I'm glad that they didn't, because they didn't have. And now, after 60 years, we have both 4 children. 2 of them are present. 12 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. This is Ilana's side. When she couldn't prepare to eat because she was under doctor's order in bed, I got the orders to feed them. I made him to work. I made him to work. I made the others who are not here at the moment. And we had everyday chips. We had everyday omelets, yes. Omelet and chips. And we survived. What we invested in our children, I think it was quite fair. But what we are getting back from our children is out of this world. We have a revenge, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The fact that I'm standing here is also not only our doing, but their doing also. And we are a very, very happy couple, the boss and I.
We are lucky. We are lucky.
You are lucky. Anyway, if you have any questions, really, please do that. Shit. Who? You?
Yeah. Hi. And maybe before you ask the question, just say your name and where you're from, so Yitzhak will get a chance to meet the group.
So my name is Gal, and I'm from Jerusalem.
Say it again, please.
Gal,
Gal.
Gal, and I'm from Jerusalem. I was
From Jerusalem.
Yes, I'm driving 3 hours each way. Getting a visa.
Well, the Gals I know are in Tel Aviv, not in Jerusalem. Gal is a wave.
When you said that you ran after the German officer told you that you were too young,
אני מצטער. No. The problem is that usually I use my eyes to listen. I have a very,
I wanted to ask, when the German officer told you like that you were too young and you needed to run, did you escape from the group to somewhere, or?
no, I just went on the line, after the line.
Okay. No, I thought that maybe he was escaping, that let you escape.
Oh, no.
Maybe
I was in
Mauthausen.
Mauthausen.
Where did you ended up? Zaba.
Yeah, what happened?
You're right. The end of this death march, the distance between Auschwitz and Mauthausen is about 120 kilometers air, but it took us 10 days without food, without water. We ate snow. That was the luck that we had snow to eat. Arrived to Mauthausen, and they took us to a bath, and we were sure that this is not a bath but a gas chamber. Suddenly they opened the warm water and warm water came out, and we first drank as much as we could because we were completely dried out, and for 2 minutes we were bathing ourselves with warm water. It was beautiful. They took away all our clothes and gave us disinfected clothes, and they sent us to a barrack which had in the middle an entrance, and it had two wings, wing A and wing B. And when came the time to count the bodies, the last minute, the people who were in charge of the block yells to the other side, send over 5 people, because the SS didn't have the possibility to make a mistake by adding 2 numbers. So wing A had to be, I don't remember, 200 or 250. And he knew that here are 250, and he added the other side. And the guy yells, oh, send over 5 because, okay. And I, the curious, I'm standing in the front. And within these 5, I see my father comes in. Father stopped. The SS comes in, and he finds a not organized block. And father stands with his hand out, and he says, mein Sohn, ich habe meinen Sohn gefunden. My son, I found my son. Here again the SS says to him, go and hug him. We haven't met, didn't see for 6 months or 7 months. And from now on, my father and I are together. Then comes the second Dead March from Mauthausen to Gunskirchen. I have to give some data on Gunskirchen. Gunskirchen was a terrible, terrible place on earth. When the war was almost finished, the Germans built a new concentration camp, which opened its gate on 12 March 45, which was a few weeks before the end of the war. They cut off trees in a forest, and they built 8 or 6, I don't remember, huge, big places with no water, with no nothing. And all of us had, איך אומרים כינין?
Lice.
lice.
Lice and typhoid.
We had millions of lice. If I wanted to get rid of some, I just did that, and my hand was full with lice. And typhoid was the best friend of most of us. People were dying by the 100 every day. When the American came and the gates were open, we started to walk. And we walked to the nearest town, Wells. At the gate, we suddenly found that a real cousin of mine was also in the same camp. And we told him, okay, come with us. He said, okay, I will come after you, and I am waiting for my comrades. He never showed up. They took us in a in the latest acting Luftwaffe airport. And father who got typhoid, like hundreds of others, died there. And the doctor, an American, a Viennese Jewish doctor who was a major in the American army, tells someone, take this kid to the sick room. They took me. Father was at his last hours. They treated me, I don't know how, I don't know. I remember still one medicine they gave me. I never find it. The name was Sympatol. I don't know what was it. But after a few days, I felt considerably better. And I heard that the doctor says to the people there, this kid, send them over to Schweiz, because in Schweiz, a sanatorium which was empty gave possibility to send over some, I don't know, 50 or 60 persons. Now, I was a good student. I know that from where I was, it was near Linz. Swiss is west. And my only wish was home. And home was east. So I ran away from the hospital. I took the azimuth to get home. It took me 3 weeks. I went to find my father. They told me that, you see this digging over there? Your father is also there in a huge digging. So I went home. I arrived home in the middle of the night. It was a Russian tank battalion which the train was taking, and we agreed that when they come to the station where we were born, the train will slow down, not stop. So don't wait the train to stop, because we are not stopping. So I jumped off the moving train, and I was in my little town. I went the next morning to the house I was born in. And of course, somebody is living there. They wouldn't let me in. They said, we didn't take away. The authorities gave it to us, and we are not giving it back, because they took away my, I don't know what. Then I see my dog. But actually, dog has only one person. He is in touch with one person. And that person was my mother and not me. Because mother gave him the food. So he barked at me, which was, to me, like a hit with a hammer on my head. I learned only later that dog has only one person attached to. Somebody asked about my father, and I told him that he died, and I considered that he was very glad that he could take my father's position or what. So it stopped being home. I stayed there for a week and ran away in time because this part of the Carpathian was annexed to the Soviet Union, and they cut it, all the connections. So I was without home, without family. I was a real, refugee. I was a real refugee with no documents, with nothing, for 4 years. But the end was here in this country. And here comes my third number. I was soldier number 1,486 in the Israeli army. When I tell this to nowadays to the generals or the colonels, they will look at me and they say, we thought that all of those are dead already. I'm telling them, don't push me, don't push me. מה החסרתי?
אני אוהבת את הסיפור על איך שהכרת את אילנה. אבל תחליט אם אתה מספר.
איך?
שהכרת את אילנה.
זה לא שואה.
אבל זה אבל תחליט אם אתה מספר.
Okay. I will tell this as כמו דובדבן. Okay, I was in the Israeli army and doing very well. After the first war ended, I was sent to the officer school. I started to teach in school. I was sent and became the signal officer. Well, coming back. On the first day when I joined the Israeli army, we were some 30 people, and somebody asked me, who can read and write and speak Hebrew? There was one hand, mine. Because in our town where I was born, we were we were studying in Hebrew schools. So I was the only one who could speak Hebrew. And that was my destiny. They sent me to the Signal Corps because in the Signal you must know read and writing. Without it, it's impossible. I climbed the ladder, or I was kicked up the ladder very quick, and I became the second in command of the signals school, the highest signal school. And doing quite good. I was quite tough. And my commander says to me, Yitzhak, this is the name I picked, because the Hungarians always use this name as a
Insult.
Insult.
Insult. Elbow.
Ah, okay. And he says to me, my commander, Yitzhak, I invited to this Hanukkah party of the school. I invited the engaged future wife of my brother, of his brother. And he says, Ilana, Yitzhak, you go and dance with her. So I am dancing 61 years. She focused on me. She focused on me, and she dropped all her promises. And
You were young and promising.
I was young and I promised her I am staying in the army all my life, and we will never have money. And now she's complaining, you are old and you have money. Anyway, this is more or less my life, and I am an extremely happy person. I don't want to kill anyone. Mind you, Ilana's father was killed by an Arab. We don't want to revenge. If it depends on us, in 2 weeks there is a constant peace in this country with the Arabs. But I can make peace with myself only, and not with them. And this is terrible, but I cannot change it. עוד משהו? The highest authority.
Who wants to ask something?
בבקשה. Yes.
I was just wondering what town you're from. Which town you were born in?
מאיזה
אוקיי.
עיר אתה באת?
עוד פעם.
מאיזה עיר באת?
You know this area?
You said in the I do actually know that area.
Okay. I was born in a little town on the northeastern part of Great Hungary, which became in 20. You know what? Ask her. She was born in the same town.
And which town?
In Hungarian, it's called Nagyszőlős, but now this is Ukraine, and now it's called Vinogradnik. This is how this is spelled, which means the city of grapes.
The
And Yitzhak, what was your name before you chose the name Yitzhak?
Sándor Weiss. It's a typical Hungarian name. What?
What's my last name?
Samantha Weiss.
You? Well, we will dig into it a little bit and find that. Yes.
Just stand up and speak loudly.
Yes, my name is Michael Gans. Maybe it's a personal question, but you said at the camps that you did not believe in God after that. Do you still feel that way?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I have no business with him. Nothing.
Thank you.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Just introduce yourself, Jan.
My name is Janusz. Janusz.
Janusz,
I'm from Hungary. I'm not from Hungary.
Poland.
I'm from Poland.
Ah,
You survived the camp. You survived the camp. You didn't give up. You didn't give up.
I gave up once in the
Once,
snow.
I know.
Yeah.
But you survived all these years before. Can you tell me and tell us where did you find the strength not to become a Muslim, not to give up?
I became a Muslim. Oh. I became a Muslim.
But you didn't give up hope. Yes, you did.
I gave up once. Never. My curiosity was the driving force behind me. I always wanted to know what's going to happen. From which part of Poland you are?
From Silesia. Schlesien, Oberschlesien.
Oberschlesien.
מה לעשות?
This is where.
1 hour from Krakow. An hour from Krakow.
שעה נסיעה מקרב.
Dachau. Krakow, yes. Okay, okay. I was there a year ago. A year ago or this year? This year I was there. Krakow. You know, I know this song about the Krakowiaczek jeden miał koniczów. 7. Yes.
7.
Uh,
Thank you.
I'm glad that you are here. Well, I'm glad that all of you are here. Really, it makes me very happy. You know, when I'm in the area I was born in, the Russians, they never teach history. The Russian religion or the communist religion says that whatever was doesn't count. All we have to work on it is the future. So they didn't teach history. The Ukrainians, the same. The Hungarians, the same. They don't teach history. They don't want to, oh, it's past. It has absolutely no worth to bother with it. It makes me sick. Yes.
Can you tell us what happened after you left? Sorry, I'm Gabriela from Israel. What happened after you left your hometown? Did you know that you were coming
Oh, yes.
to Palestine?
I know.
What happened? Sorry.
Don't be sorry, it's a long story. I warned you. An old person, etc. It will take another half an hour.
It's just in short, the answer. Take your time.
Okay. So I was on my way through Italy, לספר את הסיפור של לאון.
הקהל דורש.
מה?
הקהל דורש.
דרשת הקהל.
הקהל דורש.
I think everybody's interested.
Okay. I run away from there on one of the last days that it was still possible. I hang up on a train running to Budapest. I arrived to Budapest. I was looking to a friend of mine who was in Budapest. And I knew his address. So I went to his address. And the baron who owned this very large farm where my father was working, he heard that I arrived and he sent somebody over, come to me to visit. So I came over. We had a very nice meeting, and he asked me, what are you going to do? I said, I am leaving this terrible Europe. I am leaving Hungary, and I am going to Palestine. He said, very clever. It took me till this happened on July 45, and I arrived to this to the sands of Israel on my 17th birthday, which was 12th of March 1947, while the British were here and they cut me and sent me to Cyprus. And a week later came the Palestine police to Cyprus to sort out who is from Palestine and who is not from Palestine. He was asking me, and I gave him answers. And the last question was very interesting. He took out a coin from his pocket, and he raised it up and catched it. What I have in my hand, asked me. The official name was 50 mils. But I didn't give him the official name. I said the slang. You have a shilling. Go home. And they brought me back to Haifa, opened the gate of the of the harbor, and they say, go home. This was the way I arrived, and I found myself very quickly enlisted to the underground army. And this is what I promised her, that I will be in the army as long as they want me.
I'm Martine. I'm from South Africa.
South Africa?
South Africa. It's been a privilege to meet you and to hear your story. And my comment is to say that you say you lost your faith, but you're giving me faith. And I think many.
I don't want to start a new religion.
Not the
Huh?
Thank you so much.